Day 16 of making a platform fighter. Cleaned up some of the blueprint nodes, found a way so damage percent and objects that are attackable can use one blueprint. Now I just got to talk to one of my friends who is helping me with the art for this game, and hopefully I'll be able to plan the next step. Day 17 of making a platform fighter. So after a Discord chat with one of my friends who's helping me with the art for this game, turns out his computer can't handle UE5, so we're switching back to Unity. So some cons: I don't get any UE5 experience since it's like the new standards, and games look less pretty. Pros: I know Unity very well. I can make it run on like low-end phones, and I know C Sharp. This is gonna be a fun couple months. Day 18 of making a platform fighter. Okay, added some terrain to make it look nicer, updated the code to make stuff function better, and now I should be able to add some hitboxes tomorrow and throw in some random character enemy pass that I have. Day 19 of making a platform fighter. There were things with the controls that let the player drift backwards a lot, so I set up a limit to limit how far backwards the player can drift. Also fix a bug where you were now considered falling when you walked off the platform instead of walking. Day 20 of making a platform fighter. Got some more animations today, so now the player can jump, crouch, and run better. Got a falling portal, so I can actually test the CPU fight as part of the platform fighter. And overall, I'm pretty happy with how this is going so far. Hopefully I can update the Android version of this game on Monday, and I just realized I need a name for this. Day 21 of making a platform fighter. After dealing with SDK issues, all the basics are in there. Player can move around, shield, knock enemies off the platform, but the game feel is off. Also, you can just push enemies off the platform. Also, platforms don't work. Okay, I'm gonna upload this thing probably tomorrow, then I'll focus more on the design aspect of this game. Day 22 of making a platform fighter, or I would say that if I wasn't looking for a solution to build to the newest version of Android because I keep getting errors exporting. The version of Unity is having some internal issues making games for the newest version of Android, so today I was watching a lot of random tutorials only to realize the SDK platform is not where you update the tools. Also, after recording that, I realized touch now isn't working. Day 23 of making a platform fighter. Made a new script that holds all the frame data since everything was in the character stats and it doesn't make sense to give Barrel a forward air. Also, a prototype is now in the Google Play Store if you want to download it. Day 24 of making a platform fighter. Well, after having the project open for a bit and being stuck with decision paralysis on what to work on next, I decided to start writing down some ideas of what I should be working on. Granted, in hindsight, I probably should have just chucked this in an Excel list, but right now I'm thinking of finalizing some character design so I can use something better than these models I'm using from an old project. Day 25 of making a platform fighter. Quick backstory. After spending 2-ish years on our last game, Descendants of the Moon, now available on itch.io, link in the description, I want to make something more simple. The vision is each fighter only has one attack button and a block button, and the ability to switch to another fighter. And since competitive games are hard to support, the focus is on making this into a Metroidvania and having each fighter act as your various abilities to get around the map with a 2v2 platform fighter on the side, also to release next year on phones and PC. Day 26 of making a platform fighter. Okay, I kind of got platforms to work. The downside is they kind of launch if you do anything else other than run on it. Day 27 of making a platform fighter. After messing around a lot with random things, I realized instead of just setting the player's downward velocity to 0, I should just make it slightly jump on landing. Granted, I could see issues in the future, but hey, it works. Granted, I do need to stack 2 platforms on top of each other to make it work. Day 28 of making a platform fighter. Not much, kind of a lazy Sunday. Since the game feel was off, I decided to add a setting where if the player runs off the platform, they have some time to jump even though they're already off the platform. Also tried adding dodge rules, but they also seem off. Day 29 of making a platform fighter. Usually when I'm testing these games on my phone, I just use Unity Remote to test it. But sometimes I do make APK files so I can launch them as their own app. However, right now it's just crashing on me, and I'm trying to figure out why. Day 30 of working on a platform fighter. Usually I don't really think about the story for what I design because I want to perfect the gameplay, but at least I should figure out something for it. Currently I'm going to take one of my D&D campaigns and turn it into the base for the worlds and characters, but I'm realizing that most of the characters are various D&D races and only one human, and I'm debating if I want to lean more into the monster design or human design. Granted, one of my friends says I should just do some urban fantasy thing. Day 31 of making a platform fighter. Okay, I should talk about art. I am mostly a programmer, but I realize art is how people are going to judge this game when they first see it. And as you can see in these shorts, I mainly use just any assets I can get my hands on. So the goal is to take some of these vacation photos you've been seeing and try to turn them into some low poly art assets. And it's time for me to dust off Blender. Day 32 of making a platform fighter. I am never putting large photos in my shorts again. That render time almost took 30 minutes. Anyways, updated the camera to be in the middle when there's two enemies on screen. Day 33 of making a platform fighter. Okay, so I was editing the input, so if the player held down jump, they wouldn't just instantly jump the second they hit the platform, but now platforms are broken. Day 34 of making a platform fighter. Okay, so just did a thing to enable a bridge to the next part of the level when you kill the boss. Also, I really need to fix the characters jumping. Day 35 of making a platform fighter. Tired. I think I got the platforms working and fixed some character movement issues. Also, heads up, these shorts will likely be more me talk about tweaking stuff for the next while as I narrow down the game feel. Day 36 of working on a platform fighter. Just fixing double jump and working on the best way to move the player between points. Day 37 of making a platform fighter. Just some more tweaks with the character movement and teleporting between levels and ending up in different spots. I might change this to one big scene later, but I'll see how everything works. Day 38 of making a platform fighter had this weird glitch where the player would get stuck underneath the platforms when they jump to an exact spot. So fix that, and another glitch where if they crouch they didn't go all the way through the platform. Day 39 of making a platform fighter. I am now realizing I should leave the old mapping system for Unity since I want controller support and the player to remap buttons, which will be annoying with the old system. So I'm going to do that tomorrow since today was a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Day 40 of making a platform fighter. Kind of shocked I've been able to upload daily for this long. After watching some Sakurai video about file naming, I realized I should probably reorganize my files by fighters instead of just sorting it by prefab scripts and whatever. Since it will get more complicated later. Also, I really need to get started on a second test character. Day 41 of making a platform fighter. Just working on the sword fighting character, grab some assets online for testing, and hopefully I can get them working by tomorrow. Also, I realized I need to update the input and UI controllers since both of them are kind of locked to a single character, and I should probably take the last month of shorts and turn them into a video. Day 42 of making a platform fighter. Worked on the sword fighter today, and they seem to be kind of working. Also, I really don't like the new input system. I'm probably just going to keep using the old one. Day 43 of making a platform fighter. Opened up Blender to see how my Blender skills were after modeling a donut like 2 years ago. And I think I need to watch some Blender tutorials. Day 44 of making a platform fighter. Honestly, not much dev stuff today since I just threw all my old shorts into their own video that you can watch right now. Assuming I got the whole schedule and upload thing working. Day 45 of making a platform fighter. One of my biggest weaknesses is definitely art, but I want to try at least drawing stuff for references when I 3D model. And I was going to show what I spent an hour drawing, but it looks terrible and only slightly better than my stick figures. So Vere is a golden witch, uses the vines on her back to fight opponents, and in the single player can use those vines to pull objects towards you. Day 46 of making a platform fighter. Just trying to fix the bugs I noticed yesterday, and wow, the month's almost over. I should probably make some plan on what I'm doing for August. Thank you so much for watching. Maybe it's this lingering cold I had that compelled me to make a compilation of my shorts again, or the fact I just like seeing the progress this game has had. But I guess it's not the worst waste of hour I had this month. And thanks again for watching.